Martin Waldseemüller and Matthias Ringmann encountered the documents written by Amerigo Vespucci and other explorers. These documents, combined with previous maps written by Ptolemy and the exchange of the information to Waldseemüller and Ringmann, led to the creation of the first map that labeled the newly discovered continent now known as America.
Throughout the world and the entire history of civilized man, we have been fascinated by the world around us for the relevance to the way we live. We express these urges to explore through the maps that we create. Maps are one of the best ways to trace the evolution of human civilization. The Waldseemüller World Map of 1507 led scholars of the day to encounter a new idea of an undiscovered continent.
Claudius Ptolemy, also known as the father of geography, was a Greco-Roman scholar of Alexandria during the 1st century. In his book, Geography, he introduced the scientific method of projecting the globe on a flat piece of paper. Ptolemy's book became the spark for the fire of geography and cartography for the next millennium.
The Ptolemy world map displayed the Canary Islands in the west to Korea in the east. His northernmost point was Thule, also identified as modern-day Scandinavia or the Orkney Islands. To the south, the map ended in the Sahara Desert. Ptolemy did not include North America and the Pacific Ocean. He also overestimated the size of the Mediterranean and underestimated the size of the circumference of the Earth. However, until the 14th century, his map was the undisputed representation of the world for its uniqueness and popularity.
In the 15th century, a new age of exploration was dawning over continental Europe. One of the most influential explorers of this time was Christopher Columbus. On August 3, 1492, with the permission of King Ferdinand of Spain, he sailed west. He is known to have quoted,
"Following the light of the sun, we left the old world."
He was trying to find a shorter route to the new trading cities of India and China by sailing through what he thought was just an ocean. He arrived on the island of Palos on December 5, 1492. He believed he had reached the East Indies off the coast of Asia. He was mistaken. He was not even in the right continent. He went to his grave with these false ideas.
At this time, the age of exploration, people seeking fame became explorers. This urge caused most of the New World to be discovered within a surprisingly short period of time. One of these explorers was the Italian Amerigo Vespucci. His first voyage in 1499 was from Cadiz, Spain, arriving at the New World near the Cape of St. Rouge, Brazil. Vespucci would make several journeys to the Americas between 1499 and 1504. On his second journey, he sailed from the port of Lisbon, Spain in 1501, again to St. Rouge. During the voyage, he noted that the Amazon River would have been too large to have flowed from a lake like those in Asia. He incorrectly predicted that the Amazon flowed from a sea. However, despite his inaccuracies, this was a turning point in geography, as we realized that the new passage to Asia was actually to a new world. During his third voyage, he sailed from Lisbon to Cape Frio near modern-day Rio. After his voyages, he retired as an acclaimed explorer and visionary. He published the journals that he took during his voyages.
In France during this period, the journals became the inspiration of a pair of learned scholars, Martin Waldseemüller and Matthias Ringmann, from the Gymnasium of Voslangy in Saint-Die. They were financed by the Duke of Lorraine, René II. They were also intrigued by the accounts in the journals from the explorations of Columbus and other explorers of the day, sometime between 1505 and 1506. Using the standards of ancient master Ptolemy and the new information from Vespucci and other mariners of the day, they were commissioned to create an accurate map of the known world.
The map is particularly famous for being the first to apply the name America to the New World. Waldseemüller clearly proclaims his debt to Ptolemy. The title of the map is A Map of the Whole World According to the Tradition of Ptolemy and the Explorations of Amerigo Vespucci and Others. The debt to Ptolemy is also indicated in a large portrait of that geographer at the top of the map.
The map was painstakingly made using a wood-cut technique. If one were to look at the map, they would find certain spots in which the wood blocks failed and the scholars had to recut and reprint the map. In 1507, Waldseemüller and Ringmann printed a radical new map that showed not only the new ocean, the Pacific, but an entirely new continent. They named America. This shook the academic community because of their deviation from the Ptolemaic map.
In addition to the map, Waldseemüller and Ringmann published a booklet called Cosmographiae Introductio, explaining the naming of the new continent. It also gave insight on how the map was read and the basics of the math necessary to understand the notations. Though the Waldseemüller world map of 1507 went down as history as Waldseemüller's map, the influence of Ringmann and possibly Vespucci cannot be overstated. They were greatly influential to the process of creating the map. Vespucci himself may also have played a role in the creation due to his first-hand experience. The amazing thing about the map was how revolutionarily accurate it was. Scholars of the day disputed the legitimacy of the map until Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigated the world in 1519. Columbus's relatives repeatedly petitioned to the governments of Europe to change the name of the new land to Columbia. They believed that since Columbus landed there first, he deserved the credit. America would endure these attempts at change because of the widespread use of the name America. This secured the Waldseemüller world map of 1507 in history as the birth certificate of America.
Matthias Ringmann died in 1511, 8 years short of being proved correct by Ferdinand Magellan in terms of the new continent. At that time, Martin Waldseemüller had been slandered by the followers of Christopher Columbus, believing that the naming of America was unjust. They believed that he was the one who truly discovered the American continent.
Under pressure, and without Ringmann, Waldseemüller abandoned his idea of a new and separate continent in his masterpiece, the Carta Marina. In the Carta Marina, the east coasts of North and South America appear in more detail, but without the name America. It seems that Waldseemüller at the time had denounced his beliefs and decided to leave out such details like the location of the Pacific Ocean and the name America.
The change from Waldseemüller following Ptolemy to repudiating him is dramatic. In a long introductory text in the lower left corner of the Carta Marina, Waldseemüller discusses his earlier map and his reasons for creating a new one. He concedes that a map with ancient place names, like the 1507 map, is of limited utility since it is difficult to recognize modern places according to their ancient names. He also remarks that recent explorers have detected various errors in the geographical writings of the ancient, particularly in Ptolemy's geography. He then writes, "Moved by these considerations, I have added this second image of my world to the first, so that while in the first one there is an image of the whole world, land and sea, according to ancient authors, in this one would shine forth not just the new and present face of the world, but also the things added in the intervening times. Therefore, it seemed good to call this image and description of the whole world a Carta Marina, in which, as far as the depiction of the oceans, I have followed the common and tried and true indications of nautical charts."
Maps still serve the same purpose they did centuries ago. Although we may now have GPS and satellite imaging, we still use maps to find our way in the world. The reality that we live in America bears witness to the importance of Vespucci's journeys and the knowledge introduced by the Waldseemüller map of 1507. The map led scholars of their day to encounter for the first time the idea of a new continent, stopping the incorrect perception that there were only 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa, and also North America and South America.